Most people grow up seeing money as something strictly tangible: a paper bill, numbers in a bank, spare change in a pocket. It's often described as cold, impersonal, and purely transactional. We're taught it lives in the physical world, earned through sweat, effort, and time. Culture reinforces the idea that wealth is won by hustling, kept by hoarding, and earned only through exhaustion. But what if that story was never the truth? What if the system wasn't made to empower, but to confine? The truth buried under years of conditioning is this: money isn't material. It's energy, a frequency. It reacts not to toil, but to energy alignment. And nearly everything you've been told about it is misleading. From the start, your life was framed by beliefs handed down. Work hard and you'll succeed. Money's scarce. Only the rich get richer. These weren't casual remarks, they were mental programming. Like invisible chains, they shape your concept of what's possible. But hidden beneath this narrative is something powerful. So simple it seems unreal. Wealth doesn't come from your job, your address, or your fortune. It's born from your internal state, your frequency. You arrived on this planet with the same spiritual wiring as the ultra-wealthy. The only difference? They were shown how to turn it on. You were taught to suppress it. Look around. Cash and credit move endlessly between people across platforms, from ideas to impact. Why do some attract it effortlessly while others struggle? It's not intellect. It's not backbreaking work. It's an understanding you were never taught. Money isn't an object. It's a mirror. It reflects who you are being. What you radiate, believe, and feel. This is your real currency. We've been told to chase money. But in truth, money answers to our vibration. If you've ever sensed there must be a better way, lighter, freer, you weren't imagining it. And deep down, you've always known money is energy and you have the power to draw it in. Every societal system supports the myth that wealth is for a select few. You're handed a survival manual. Get schooled, find work, grind for decades, retire, and hope there's time left to enjoy life. But that formula hides a silent structure of control, not enforced by rules, but by belief. The system was never made for your thriving. It was built to keep you compliant. You're kept just above the line of resistance, fed enough to stay quiet, but never enough to break free. Look at global wealth. It's hoarded by a small fraction. Not because they're more skilled or moral, but because they grasp the energetic blueprint. Many don't labor harder. They often don't labor at all. They simply align with energy flow and shape the system around their frequency. Meanwhile, the masses are told success demands sacrifice and endless effort. That mindset alone exhausts billions. On the surface, money looks like stuff, bills, coins, digital entries. But underneath, it's pure energy. It flows where energy aligns. When someone brings in great wealth, it's rarely just the product, it's their energy. Certainty, self-worth, and confidence are worth more than degrees. People don't just buy services, they're drawn to energy. Society avoids teaching this. Instead, it trains dependency on employers, systems, and institutions. Never on self. But if effort equaled income, the hardest workers would be the richest. Yet janitors work longer than CEOs, and single moms work 3 jobs while billionaires earn in their sleep. Clearly, labor isn't the key to abundance. To break out of the illusion, stop seeing money as earned and start seeing it as attracted. This isn't wishful thinking, it's energetic mechanics. When you align with abundance instead of need, you draw people, opportunities, and outcomes toward you. The world adapts not to neediness, but to resonance. You don't need to shout for it, just radiate truth. Ancient spiritual teachings have always hinted at this secret. To the one who has, more will be given. At first, it sounds unjust, but energetically, it's perfect sense. If you embody abundance, you generate a pull. The universe responds not out of favoritism, but alignment. You become a channel through which prosperity flows, not a dam blocked by fear or guilt. In the end, the idea that money is strictly physical is a myth. Reality isn't a machine, it's a mirror. And money isn't hunting down the desperate. It drifts toward the aligned. When you stop viewing it as payment for pain and start seeing it as the result of energetic clarity, you begin to master it. The illusion fades. A new level of wealth opens. Scarcity takes root in childhood. Even before you were aware, your mind soaked in every emotion around money. Arguments over bills, anxious sighs, and comments like "we can't afford that." These impressions needed no permission. They embedded themselves when you were wide open and impressionable. The result? A mental framework that says money is elusive, wealth is for others, and survival is the best you can expect. Most people carry inherited beliefs they never chose. Money doesn't grow on trees. The rich are greedy. You have to hustle for every dime. These aren't truths, they're recycled fears. Passed down until they feel like facts. But each time you accept them, your energy field shuts the door on abundance. The subconscious is like soil. It nurtures whatever's planted, good or bad. If your blueprint is built on struggle, you'll repeat struggle, not intentionally, but automatically. You can recite affirmations, attend seminars, or visualize millions. But if your inner story is still rooted in lack, your results won't change. Your outer world is a mirror of your inner code. To break the cycle, don't condemn the beliefs, observe them. Ask, where did this come from? Whose fear am I still holding? This awareness starts the unraveling. Once exposed, a belief loses its grip. It stops running your life from the shadows. Rewriting your internal script isn't about pretending. It's about trading fear for truth. Scarcity is not a fact. Energy is boundless. Wealth isn't exclusive. It's responsive. You're not stuck. You're a transmitter of frequency. Start speaking in a new emotional dialect. Tell your subconscious what to believe. I'm supported. Abundance finds me. I can receive without guilt. It's not about robotic repetition. It's about resonance. Feel it. Visualize your beliefs like tuning forks. Emit scarcity, and you'll draw scarcity. Late fees, setbacks, unexpected costs. Shift to abundance, even briefly, and new experiences appear. A refund, a free gift, a lucky break. These are not accidents. They're signals. The universe is always responding to your signal. Breaking scarcity conditioning is spiritual work. It's more than mindset, it's power reclamation. You weren't born to struggle. You weren't meant to fear survival. The moment you stop living like a victim and start moving like a creator, everything changes. Scarcity fades. And for the first time, life stops feeling like a fight and starts feeling like a field of infinite options. When you give from a place of joy, when your presence alone lifts others, people feel drawn to contribute. They may not know why, they just feel it. A janitor who brings good energy to a space is valued more than one who simply checks a box. A meal made with care nourishes far deeper than one made with resentment. In those invisible layers, wealth begins, not in the task, but in the energy behind it. Real mastery means detaching your self-worth from what you charge. A service born from alignment isn't overpriced. Undervaluing yourself doesn't make you modest. It blocks your flow. Pricing yourself too low is a quiet invitation for rejection. But when you price from confidence, from clear service and intention, it becomes a contribution. You're saying, I recognize the worth of what I offer, and I invite you to see it too. The universe doesn't do discounts. It reflects frequency, not numbers. Presence outweighs productivity. You can work fewer hours and earn more because what you offer goes beyond effort. It's peace, clarity, and light. Those in energetic alignment don't worry about competition. No one can replicate their frequency. There's a well-known story among seekers. A man asks a craftsman, "How long did this take to carve?" The artisan replies, "A lifetime." It wasn't just the hours, it was the stillness, the trust, the years of self-alignment behind each cut. The worth lives in the energy infused into it. Now reflect on your own work. Whether you fix bikes, coach others, or make jewelry, what energy runs through your hands? What emotion lingers in your messages, your touch points, your details? If energy is currency, then every interaction becomes an exchange. And when you're energetically generous, genuinely so, you're never depleted. Let your presence be your reputation. Let joy become your outreach. Let alignment close the deals. From that space, money doesn't just come to you, it moves through you. And the world becomes richer because of it. We live in a world drowning in noise, audible and energetic. Holding a clear, abundant frequency is a real power. Every setting, every interaction, every voice around you sends signals. Often, these signals come from fear, doubt, and survival thinking. You move daily through a world soaked in scarcity, not because it's true, but because it's inherited. If you don't deliberately generate your own energy, you'll absorb what's ambient. You probably felt this. Walk into a crowded space and suddenly feel tired. You didn't move much or talk to anyone, but you feel drained. That's not in your head. That's energetic sinking. Your system tries to match the dominant vibe. If you're surrounded by anxiety, urgency, or lack, your field begins mirroring it, unless you've trained it to stay sovereign. Resonating abundance means being the clearest signal in the room. It's not loudness, it's steadiness. If you wake up daily and root yourself in gratitude, possibility, and inner certainty, you begin to broadcast. That broadcast is louder than anything you say. People notice it. Doors open. Resources align. Not because you ran after them, but because your energy gave them a reason to come. Abundance isn't performance, it's embodiment. It starts with noticing the wealth you already have. Quiet time, good food, close connections. These are not minor. They're reflections of deeper abundance. If you train your system to feel secure in what is, you stop chasing and start drawing in. You show the world you're ready, not begging, but open. Many confuse wealth with extravagance. They believe they must spend more to prove they have more. But misaligned spending doesn't build wealth, it creates stress. True prosperity is subtle. It's in how you treat your space, your things, your time. Someone in one well-chosen outfit radiates more affluence than another buried in labels but insecure inside. Everything carries energy. An item bought in fear holds that tone. Something chosen with presence enhances self-worth. That doesn't mean buying everything expensive. It means choosing things that align with who you are becoming. Every purchase, every gift, every action sends a signal. Ask yourself, am I acting from overflow or from pressure? Every step broadcasts your identity. And chaos becomes still. In lack, remain expansive. Don't contract around scarcity, glow through it. Be the living example that another way exists. That wealth starts in your state, not your savings. That certainty, not fear, is the loudest force in a room. When you carry that calm certainty, the world reflects it. It meets you at your frequency, and wealth becomes your natural return. Attracting wealth is less about tactics, more about identity. Who you believe you're underneath it all, what you expect from life, what you think you deserve. This is your magnetic core. Money responds to confidence, not desperation. The more fully you become the version of yourself who already lives in abundance, the more that life shows up. This isn't luck. It's energetic alignment. You become someone money feels secure with, so it stays. Most people want to feel rich only once they see the evidence. But magnetism doesn't wait, it begins inside. Start with how you speak, how you walk, how you treat what you already have. Want more opportunities? Look and move like someone prepared to handle them. Identity is not about looks, it's about energy. It's about consistency between your desire and your belief. To shape this identity, clarity is key. Vague wishes make vague results. Know who you're becoming. Understand how that version of you moves, speaks, thinks, reacts. If you dream of financial ease but feel shame around money, your signal is scrambled. If you say you want wealth but see yourself as just scraping by, you're slowing your own momentum. Alignment requires unity between thought and feeling. Start creating the outer reality that matches your inner one. Tidy your space. Upgrade what you can. Add small rituals. Light a candle before dinner. Play music that elevates. These choices tell your subconscious, I value beauty. I expect peace. I receive with grace. Each detail adds to the foundation of the self you're building. Markets follow energy. Think of the people who naturally attract attention, not because they chase it, but because they carry certainty. It's not always their product. It's their presence. When your energy is clear and settled, you won't need to convince anyone. People will sense your value before you speak. Remember, magnetism isn't a one-time performance. It's consistent alignment. The world is full of people who start strong and burn out. What sets magnetic people apart is that they hold their energy through ups and downs. When life challenges them, they don't fall apart, they realign. They remember, my identity is not defined by the moment. It's defined by the frequency I choose. And I choose expansion. You're not building a business. You're becoming a beacon. The clearer your identity, the easier it is for success to reach you. Thoughts shape your stance. Your stance shapes your presence. Presence attracts your reality. Your self-image is the lens through which you live. Shape it wisely. Reinforce it through action. Embody it until reality has no choice but to reflect it. Wealth isn't a place to arrive, it's a current to ride. It flows like water through those who know how to receive, circulate, and guide it. The highest level of financial power isn't about earning more, it's about handling money as a force. True wealth isn't about hoarding, it's about flow. When you reach this space, money stops being a struggle and starts becoming a tool. A mirror. A messenger. Too many confuse wealth with accumulation. But when you lock money away, it stagnates. Just like still water turns foul, stagnant money loses energy. Movement is what makes it alive. When you use money to invest, give, and create, it multiplies financially and energetically. Every dollar becomes a seed. And seeds planted with purpose always grow. Spiritually, money reflects your comfort with power. If power scares you, you'll avoid money. If you doubt yourself, you'll block it without knowing. But when you're rooted in purpose and service, wealth grows your reach without shaking your core. Money doesn't change you, it reveals you. Unresolved wounds get louder when wealth enters. That's why handling money well requires inner peace. If shame or guilt live inside you, money won't stay. But when you clean up your emotional landscape, build clarity, practice discipline, align your intent, you become someone who holds wealth with ease. In uncertain times, those with inner strength stand tall. Cash, clarity, and composure become real power, not power to dominate, but to move with precision. When systems collapse, when economies shake, those who are ready, not just financially, but spiritually lead. They don't panic, they create. They don't freeze, they act. The world is shifting. Financial systems, value structures, currencies, everything is evolving. And those with spiritual wealth will guide the way. Those who treat money as energy, not just exchange, will shape the future. They'll buy when others sell, build when others retreat, contribute instead of fear. Their wealth won't be judged by what they collect, but by what they uplift. Mastering money flow isn't the final step, it's the doorway to something greater. A point where you stop asking how to gain and start asking how to serve. Where wealth becomes more than a metric, it becomes a movement. Every financial act becomes an energetic signature. In this state, wealth is no longer a dream. It's a reflection, not of what you earn, but of who you've become. And who you've become is someone who doesn't just manage money, but channels the sacred through it.